忘れ。
And now we're ready for our next run, 1001 Spikes with a double
お、
taco.
始まりましたね。
So, hey everybody, this is 1001 Spikes. It's a game by Nicholas, who you may know for the Binding of Isaac remakes, porting Cave Story to anything that'll sit still long enough, and maybe the Legend of Tyrone. And my couch can go ahead and introduce themselves.
I'm Metalama.
Hi, I'm Vorpal.
And they're the chumps who I managed to drag in here. So I'm ready whenever time's ready. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
何これファミコン調だ。
So 1001 Spikes is a precision platformer, but it's pretty straightforward. The run itself is also pretty straightforward. There's no real major glitches.
ステージクリア早すぎね。
Very little RNG. It's mostly down to knowing the movement techniques and
あ、
also knowing
1001スパイクスってそういう意味なの
There
か。
are quite a few. Right now we're in the tutorial area, so there isn't really much in the way of that.
このキャラがスパイクっていう名前で、残機が1001あるから1001スパイクスってこういうことか。アイワナね。ああ、アイワナが一番簡単か、想像しやすいか。
I'm about to come up and do another movement technique. You can get a lot of them out of the way in the tutorial level, which is nice. So what I'm about to do is fast falling, and what that means is anytime you go over a ledge, you want to try to be in the air and falling as you're doing it, because it's faster to do it that way than just walking over the edge. That's close. So there are 6 levels per stage. The last is a transition level.
普通に死ぬ覚えゲー。アトラスじゃないか。アトラスのことだろう。
They're not like the frame fastest way to do things, but they're very consistent. And now we're coming up to the end of World 1, so the end of the tutorial. Now the run's really going to start opening up. This is flag skip. It's the most important skip in the game. Does absolutely nothing. But it saves that poor little flag. If you walk past it, it falls over and is real sad.
すげえ近距離で見てんね。
So Taco, I've noticed that you have, I believe it's 2 different jump heights.
Yes, there is a short jump and a high jump, and they are actually 2 different jump buttons, which is pretty wild. That throws a lot of people off when they first start playing. I actually really like it.
Yeah, it definitely works really well.
Another audio cue here. Nice, got it. So I'm going to start talking about the level after this one. It's where we 2-3 is where we start using our next major movement technique, and it's the first real hard level in the run. There's just very little room for error if you want to get the fastest route through it. Thankfully, there's a way to recover that, but you lose a couple seconds, so I'm going to go for it, and if I don't get it, then I'll flop around and die on the level for a little bit, because that's usually what happens. See, the first jump is also real tough. And it makes you look like a dork as you just fall down. Let's go for it. Got it.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. So what I just did there is a buffered jump. And what that means is 7 frames before you hit the ground, you can put in another jump command. And as soon as you hit the ground, it will immediately execute that jump command. It's a lot like, canceling moves in fighting games, or I think there's something like it in Dark Souls too. It's pretty common in a lot of games, and it's real helpful. This is the first real hard level of the game casually, because the top layer of the level is just full of all sorts of nasty traps. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with those. We're just going to go this way. And I'm going to fall in the flamethrower. But thankfully, I don't have to do the top of this level anymore, because if I had to, I wouldn't be able to, because I forgot how to do it.
So I've noticed that you have a couple different weapons at your disposal.
ああ、死んだ。
Yes, you throw a knife, and that's really your only attack. You use it to attack scorpions, and also to counter darts that are thrown at
the melee attack that you sometimes see when he sneaks up behind a scorpion and shanks him. That's based on proximity.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
早いな。何ステージあんのこれ。
All right. This is just a
そんな
whole
多くない
break
の
level,
か。
so now we got time for a donation or two.
Sure thing. We have $25 from an anonymous donor who says, "Good luck, Double Taco."
Thanks.
覚えゲー。
And we have $30 from Double Uno who says, "Grats Taco on your second game's done quick."
Aw, thanks, dude.
5 years ago, an MSF compound hosted me at a great cookout in rural Africa. Now it's my turn to return the favor with some interest later.
ライダー。なんだ。
All right, there's another
てか、どんどん進むからわかんねえな。
Jump. There we go. Got it. Now I have to count this down here to keep track of the spikes. Jump. All right, hard part of that level's over.
おーおーおーおー
Nice.
うまいね。
World 3 looks really impressive, and for the most part, it doesn't have that many complicated things going on in it. It's just a little bit of relaxation before we get to World 4 and 5, which are just real tough. There's time for another donation or two if you want.
Sure thing. We even got a bunch of donations.
Ah,
We have $20 from All or AAL, who says, "Ha ha ha, good try. Here's the money. Your choice, announcer." And that is for EGOF or Ayla's Naming Chrono Trigger. We have $25 from Slamphibian, who says, "I just wanted to say there's been a great week so far and really excited for what's to come." We have $5 from Anonymous, who says, "Do it for Nep Nep Taco."
Please no.
We have $15 from Nahu, who says, "Taco, remember
出口
to
ど
be
こ
video games. Love from your IRC buds."
Thanks, Nahu. Always be video games.
画面寄りすぎじゃないと。あれでしょ、
Alright,
ド
we're
ッ
coming
ト
up
ごと
on
に
the
精
end
細
of
か
the
差がいる
easy
か
half
ら
of the run. After this stage, which is where the difficulty really starts ramping up. This stage is mostly just stuff getting out of your way.
So, may I ask what those skulls are? I assume that they're some sort of collectible that is probably not necessary to say like an any % category for this run.
Right. I tried to save that. The skulls, there's one in each of them in the Ukampa half of the game. And what they do is, first they give you a 1-up, which is, you know, sort of important, I guess. You start out with a ton of lives. But then they also, let me put this here real quick. Once you get all 30 of them, it unlocks the final boss in the second half of the game. So in order to like fully beat this game, you have to 100% it. Right.
So, is there also a key in every level as well?
Yes.
The key is necessary to open the door that leads to the exit.
Right. So what I just did there is the last big movement technique, the purpose of which is to make it here before this flamethrower fires. So on my way back, I'll explain it. I'm going to have to take a bit of a safety strat here because I was a little late getting out of there. Just gotta be here for a certain point. So what I did was jump and throw a knife. And I'll be able to show you why that's important here. Because as you can see, when I'm throwing a knife on the ground, I'm stopping, which isn't good for lining up with some cycles and levels. So as long as you're in the
そ
air,
こそこ大丈夫なん
you
だ
throw a knife. It doesn't matter if you land on the ground as you're throwing it. Oh,
あ
no. You will.
あサソリ一発で死んじゃう
You
の
won't stop moving. So that comes into play in a few levels in a big way. And what you just saw me do there was be right outside of the stab hitbox. There's only a certain range you could do it at. And actually, if you do it from the absolute maximum range, while the scorpion is walking away from you, you will whiff and the scorpion will turn around and poke you. Now I get to wing this too. Then I
Ah.
jumped into a boulder. So
難しい
there
ね、こ
isn't
の
a
辺。
lot of recovery strats in a lot of these levels. So if you kind of hit your head once, that's it.
A cute thing this game does is when you crouch, it actually does lower your hitbox.
Yeah, by a couple pixels. Comes into play in a couple of different levels. It's not super important though. It is important when I'm getting hit in the head with rocks though. I'm just gonna try to focus up through this level so we can get on to the even harder levels in World 4. It actually doesn't matter how fast you go through the beginning part of this level because it all comes down to
こっからだ
one
ね。
thing at the end which stops you.
この岩に触ったらアウトなんかね。触ったらアウトだったかな、完璧。乗るのはいいのかな。
There we go. So you have to wait here for these spikes. So no matter how fast you go through the first part of the level, it all comes down to that.
There you go.
All right. So now we're on our way to World 4. World 4 has a lot of people's favorite music in the game. I've grown to dislike it because the world's really tough. But the music in general in this game is super good. With the exception of one track, which
ね、残機の条件1001かと思ったらどんどん増えるっていう。
so World 4 is going to have some stuff that may at first glance look like it's RNG, but it isn't. So these fireballs here are not RNG. There is RNG, but it's not until later in the run, so we can just kind of weave through them
Hey.
like this. Oh no, and miss it. Oops, sorry, I don't know how to deal with that.
増えたね。
So they're all on a set internal
100
pattern.
増えるとかいう。
Yes. Oh, man.
ああ、いけなかった。
Let's see if I can win this. Nope.
ああ、燃えた。
This strat is extremely hard, by the way.
Yeah. There's an even harder version of it too in the IL.
誰かアイワナでスピードランすればいいじゃん。
Around when I was running
これに出る。これじゃないけど。GDQ じゃないけど、
So
な
now
ん
we get
か
to weave through these.
ね。アイワナで出たら、
Take a little safety strap here, give me more time.
あ、前してたか。
Because
ごめ
then
ん
you。can fall and miss that orb. Now 4-2 is pretty cool. It's also the hardest level in the run.
それは知らなかった。
And the reason it's cool is it has every single movement technique in the entire game in one level. So we're gonna
あれ
buffer
早かっ
jumps
た今。
here. Audio cue. Fast falls over here.
Oh gosh, I remember this level when I
Oh.
was playing casually. I had no idea how to get through that spike falling tunnel.
いや、まあ好きじゃない。
Well, I screwed up the scorpions, but I might be able to recover it here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take it real slow through this level, unfortunately. No, and then I.
ああ、
Sometimes you don't stab when you go for the stab. I haven't quite figured out how or why yet.
バックスタバーは一
Now
発
I。live on 4-2. This is my home now.
あのプラス100とかつく。
Interesting home.
Yep, it's comfy.
I bet it's hard to get insurance on though.
There we go. No, come on.
全部一発。なるほど。いやー、こういうのダメだな、俺。俺はこういうのダメだわ。
Here, toss. There we
Nice.
go. Got it.
Awesome.
It looks really cool when you get it. All right, we got
いや
time.
多分俺こういうのダメ。イライラしてくるからダメ。多分相原もできないかな、できないなと思ってやらないもん。
He says, "Good luck, Taco, and remember, I am the champion of the ninjas."
に
Y'all should watch Ninja the Protector. It is a
そう、コントローラー投げる系だから、多分俺はもう精神的に持たない。
From Zeke 15, who says, "Go Taco, love Zeke."
thank you. Love you too, Zeke.
残機が1001あるから平気。
We have $20 from Palace.
相花は
Hi, double taco.
残機制限ないんだよ
Good luck
な。
on the run. Glad I get to see the face behind the voice. Also, deja vu. I think you've been here before. Also, hi, best bud Metal Llama.
Hi, Palisair. Love you, dude.
Gotta stand on some safe spots here.
おおうまい。
Something that you don't really notice for a while when you're playing the game is there's a lot of visual cues as to which spots are safe. Like for instance, if you're looking at the spike holders here, where the plants are, that's almost always a safe spot.
And those light blocks in the top row are where it's safe to stand
すげえ相花集が
when。those spike cycles are going through. So this level's an auto scroller, and at this point, I'd like to give a shout out to the French Restream where the world record holder Barramundo is currently doing commentary, because I like dying on this level when we race, especially at the end of it. Now the auto scroller portion, where ducking comes in handy. The rest is just a few audio cue jumps.
なんか相花好きな人はやりそうだね。
That's where I like to die, right at the very end. All right, so now we're coming to World 5. World 5 is also really difficult, and we're going to get our first bit of RNG. So I'm going to clam up real hard in 5-1 because there's more fireballs in it. This time their position is random, and they're right over the door too, which is super nice.
ああ、炎がランダム性があるんだ。
Indie platformer devs, they really like to throw random stuff at you.
Yeah, there's a few real mean exits to levels. You also have to fall and hit orbs.
Yeah, 5-1 is just a hard stage in general.
なんじゃこれ。
That cue is pretty rough.
All right, fireballs, play nice. Got a decent pattern.
おお。
Nice.
All right, 5-2 is another little breather stage before 5-3, which is another 5-3 and 5-4 are back-to-back really hard stages. This just has a little audio cue coming up here for these little moving platforms.
「パッと見てて思うのはめんどくさそうって思う。
Ooh, there we go. Whew. It's all in service of not getting toasted. All right, so 5-3 is real difficult. And the reason is because of that gold thwomp there on the right. It hops the direction opposite you're facing, so we want to grab the key and still have it hop to the right. See if I can get it first try.
精神的にしんどいね。
It's pretty rare that I get it first try. It's a really tough jump. Nope.
あ、取れなかった。
This level used to be the run killer for me. Now it's the next one. So the later, the better.
取れなかった。
Turning back too early. On the upside, the first few notes of this music are really good. There we go, got it.
Nice, dude.
おお。
Well, the level's not over with yet.
No, it's not. That's the hard part, though. So you gotta jump really early here. There we go, cool.
おお。
All right, now we can clap.
Now the hard level. You've like no room for error, so if you mess up that one jump, that's it, it's GG. But it ain't even over yet. I deal with these, and then get a jump down here right. Nope, nope. Okay, I'm gonna have to do the backup strat.
なんじゃ。
You want to get here about half a cycle before when I did. Ah, no, and then get stomped. So now I have another opportunity to show you because
また最初からっつうのが嫌だね。ステージ短いけ
enjoy
ど
the。first few notes of World 5's theme. It's a lovely theme.
いや多分俺やれないこれ。絶対やらない。
I can't think of a single song in this game that I dislike.
I think it's like 2 frames that you have to jump there.
ブルードラゴンって RTA 違いあるかね。
This is 60 FPS?
Yes.
どうでもいい話なんだけど。
Okay, got it. So now we just get to run through these. There's a little setup here to make this safe. Jump along with them because jumping with Flomps is fun. They seem to be having a good time with it.
It's a kind of shame they don't make any interesting noises like the Mario ones.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Nice.
箱の。
So
そう箱の。
that's the last hard level in the run. So now we just have this little almost freebie until you fall down in the fire and die in the middle of a race.
でも
I didn't do
長
that.
そうだよね。
Nope. Shout out to Bear
あんま長いゲーム多分死ぬから俺。
And now we are leaving World 5. World 6 is just a couple of corridors in the final boss, and also
Oh.
the last bit of RNG in the game, right at the end of the
スクロー
run.
ルですか？
This is a very nice game.
強制スクロールですか？
It has the player's blood pressure in mind. So we have a little hallway here. You can read a donation or two.
We have $150 from Oscar62, saying long-time watcher, first-time donor. My friend passed away recently, and since he was an avid gamer, donating to this SGDQ seems appropriate. He was also an avid Castlevania fan, so doubly appropriate. In memory of Dory, from Oscar, Odin, Olaf, Danny, and Jorgen.
All right. So what I'm doing here.
これで終わり
First
か。
and last key here. I'm canceling the animation. It's the closest thing to a glitch in the game. And it opens the door to the final boss. So now we're about to hear the best final boss theme of all time. So I'm just going to shut up for a few seconds and let y'all enjoy it. Isn't it lovely?
なんだ？
One Winged Angel, got nothing on it.
Remember when I said I couldn't think of a song I dislike? I remember this one
そ
now.
んなに強くないな。
Thankfully, the boss is really straightforward. You just hit it a few times.
カンパってこれ？
And then drops random
What
blocks
the-
here, which usually play nice. Okay, yeah, there we go. So yeah, so that's the final boss. And but we're not done yet. We're not even done with the RNG yet. So chat, I need you to give me your energy. Raise your Vohios, please. And the reason is because, well, there's the score attack. It's the whose lines it anyway of score attacks because the points don't matter. But this door here, this block here is a door. Then after this score attack will open anywhere between 2 and 10 seconds after the final music starts. There is nothing you could do to influence that at all. So you could be on PB or even world record pace and you just get to wait 8 seconds at the door.
Did anyone ever find out what causes that?
Nope. And in practice, I've been getting full 10-second doors, so you owe me one door.
うんうん。
Door. Hey, gave me an alright door. Thanks, door.
ちょっと遅れてるね。まあでもしょうがない
And
か。
this is just a pretty straightforward escape. Get a little reminder of all the obstacles you face.
お、フォローありがとうございます。でもあれか。俺のチャンネルかひょっとして。
And time's going to be coming up after I grab this final key, and the screen will fade to white, and so after the fade.
そうじゃないよね。
And
最後の曲の後2秒。
time.
あ、これでタイムか。
What was the time on that? What was the time?
2340.
Ah, well. So, if this suffering looks like it's fun, you should swing by the 1001Spikes Discord. and join our races. It's a really, really, really fun game to race. So yeah, that's it from me. Thanks, everybody.
Hi. VVVVV ですね。
Well, thank you for that run. And I also have a special announcement to make. We have raised $500,000. For Doctors Without Borders, a fine, fine charity for the Summer Games Done Quick. Fine humanitarian organization. And we also have a bunch of donations. We have $50 from Corrosive Frost, who says, I love the Castlevania series and love the great work of everyone involved in GDQ.
はい、ここからはでスーパーミートボーイになりまして、スーパーミートボーイには解説者がおります。先ほど、言った通り RTA in Japan オンラインでも、出場される、ズミさんです。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。どうも、はじめまして。
はじめまして、よろしくお願いします。
はい、ズミというものです。ありがとうございます。
もうざっくりでいいんで、どういうゲームかって言ってもらっていいですか？
ざっくりでいいですか？
とりあえずまだ始まってないんで。
そうですね。これやったことある人だったらわかると思うんですけれども、まあこれも言ったら前のゲームと同じようなアイワナ系ですね。言ったら死んですぐやり直すようなゲームで。それにプラス壁蹴りとソニックみたいなスピード感があるようなゲームですね。なんかもういいとこ取りしたようなゲームです。基本的に。なるほど。
なるほど。アイアムブレッドみたいな感じではない。
いや、そんな感じじゃないですね。でこのゲームちょっとキャラクターの感性がね独特で、それから言ったらマリオブラザーズみたいな感じの感性なんですよ。
はいはいはいはい。
ジャンプしたとはちょっと重たい感じの。でそれをうまいことちょっと使っていかんと結構難しいゲームなんで、割と結構ね難しいって言われる方多いですね。
コンソールとしてはパソコンで
パソコンが基本だと僕は思うんですけれども、その後に Xbox360 で出ててパッケージでその後、まあ、海外だけだと思うんですけどプレステ4とビータと WiiU で出てますね。結構幅広く展開してますんで、海外では一応日本では全然流行ってないんですけど、海外では1年でもうミリオンセラーしてるんで、はい、
マジっすか。
はい、全然日本で流行ってないんですよ。一応これスピードラン .com でも奏者が400人近くいらっしゃって、
マジで
はい、
すごいな。
その中に日本人は0人です。
あれあれあれ
僕もちょっと最近復帰したんで、まあ、一応結構記録的には普通ぐらいなんですけど、
1位を目指すんです
1位はね、今日もねすごいんですよ。設定タイムがレースで20分になってるんですけれども、このゲーム基本30分でクリアできたら早い方なんですよ。それを20分で設定してるっていうのがちょっとすごいんじゃないかな。この2人は
もう人外だと。
人外系だと思いますね。
まごうことなき変態だと。
ただこのゲームドンキーコング2みたいな卵の運ゲーあるじゃないですか。
はいはいはい。
あれがこれ6面編成になってるんですけれども、ワールド5にあるんですよ。
ああ、めんどくさいですね。
そこでしかも1分以上ロスる可能性もあるんで、これ本当に20分で終わるかなと思いながらちょっと楽しみにしてるんですけどね。
大事故が起きないかなと。
まず言ったらどんだけ差が開いててもなんかレースでその5面のボスでまた差が縮まる可能性もあるし、そういうところもちょっと見どころじゃないかなと思いますね。
すごいゲームだな。
いや見たらさっきのまあ言ったら悪いですけど、さっきの前の ゲームあるじゃないですか、
はいはい
スパイク。あれよりはまだ面白そうな相原系です。
なるほど。
はい。ぜひやってもらいたいんですけどね。サマーセールって今まだやってましたっけ？スチームの。
もう終わっちゃったんじゃねえか。ちょっと待ってね、見てみよう。
一応サマーセールで 70% オフぐらいされてて、今350円ぐらいで買えるんですよ。もう終わってたら買えませんけど。
ス Steam パスワード忘れた。
あ
ちょっと待って。ちょっとねすぐ出せるから、ちょっと待ってね。
アイザックとアイワナは結構ビジュアルが確かに日本受けはしないとは思いますね。あ、ついさっき終わったセール。ああ、さっき200円だった。このゲームね、本当やり込み要素が多いんですよ。
ほ
全言ったら6ワールドの中に全ワールド6ワールドプラス EX ワールドが1つあって、その中に20ステージ一応設定されてて、その20ステージの中でも言ったら表裏があるんですよ。その表ステージで目標タイムが設置されてて、おのおの
はいはい。
その目標タイムを達成すると、そのステージの裏ステージっていうね、難しいステージが解放されるんですよ。だから合わせてまあ1ワールドごとに40ステージある状態ですね、表裏合わせて。
なるほどなるほど。
でも表と裏とはそれは全然ね難易度違うんで表はまあお子様でも遊べるかなぐらいの難易度で、裏はもう全然もう子供泣かせのステージばっかりなんで結構やりがいはありますよ。
なんか Steam ログインしたら、ログインしてストア見たらさ、
はい、
なぜギャルガンがあるんだろう。
いやギャルガン流行ってると思いますよ僕は。
ギャルガンダブルピースってなんでだよ。なんでだよ。
いや要はサマーセールで売れたんじゃないですかね。
75%オフで1000円で買えるよ。
いや買おうか迷いましたけど、あれ1やりましたけどなんかいまいちだったんでちょっとやめときました。あ、スーパーミートボーイ、それですそれです。そのミートくんのスタンプです。スタンプがあるぐらい海外ではもう有名なんで。
ああ、なるほどね。これね。
それこそいろんなゲームのパロディ要素がこのゲームあるんですよ。
ほうほうほう。
このキャラクターがもうまあ主人公なんですけど、このスタンプの。
はい。
それ以外にも主要キャラクターがいて、それこそ次のRT じゃないこれスピードなんですか。の6V ですか、6V のキャラクターも主要キャラとして使えますし、もちろん天地逆転の操作になります。そのキャラを使うと。いやそれこそアイワラのようなとさっきからずっと言ってますけれども、アイワラのキッドくんも主要キャラとして使えます。2段ジャンプできます。
幅広げすぎじゃない？
でこのゲーム一応収集アイテムとして絆創膏っていうのがあるんですけど、それを集めることによってもいろんなキャラクターが開発されますね。そうそう名物キャラクターが基本的に海外の名物キャラクターなんで、ちょっと日本には馴染みがちょっと薄いかもしれませんけれども。アイワナとあとマインクラフトのキャラクターが
あれですか、匠ですか、匠が。
いや、匠くんじゃないんですよ。普通のプレイヤーの方おるじゃないですか、普通の。
はいはい。ああ、スティーブ
スティーブくんが使えて、そいつ使うと、言ったら、フィールドにあるブロックを破壊できるんですよ。
おー。
だからどこにでも穴開けていけるという。
なんか、いろいろコラボしまくって引っ張りますっていう。すごいゲームですね。聞いてるだけでは。
このゲーム、まあ、一応日本語対応してるんですけれども、さほどそんな文字が出てこないんですよ、ストーリーとかでも。なんでそんな日本語対応しなくても、なんか感性で分かるゲームなんで、 なんか日本語、英語とか分かんなくても全然できますので。
なるほど。
そのストーリーもねちょっとパロディばっかりなんですけど、今回多分 80% なんで全く見れないと思いますけれども、なんかポケモンパロったり、なんかその辺あとは星のカービィの刹那の
見切り
をパロったりしてますね、どっかで。
そんなはちゃめちゃでいいのかな。
それゆえにやっぱりちょっと人気が高いんだと思います。
そういうのね、海外大好きだからね、パロるのは。
お祭り芸大好きですから。
日本人はね、割とそういうの嫌がるケースが高いけど。
そうか。僕はでもお祭り好きなんですよね、意外と。でも一応このゲーム、日本でもニコ生 RTA で3人、僕含めて3人一応奏者はいたんですよ、昔。それも2012年の話ですけどね、5年前の話です。それこそ僕がこのスーパーミートボーイの 80%RTA を始めた理由が、ニコ生と今ツイッチで活躍されているカスさんという方なんですけれども、あの方がやってるのを見てやり始めたのがきっかけなんですよ。もう今あの方やってませんけど。
あと失礼しました。はい、直します。はい、すいませんでした。
略称が SMB っていうのもちょっとパロってるみたいで、例の配管工スーパーミートボーイ略して SMB なんですけれども、これも完全にスーパーマリオブラザーズじゃないですか。
そうね。
このゲーム最近復帰したんですけれども、最近復帰した理由がちょっと2012年以降ちょっと僕就職しまして、いろいろ仕事関連で忙しかったんで、あんまり RTA ができてなかったんです。そういう最近落ち着き始めて、じゃあまたスーパーミートボーイの RTA しようかなと思って見たら、なんかね、いろんな技が追加されてて、その時代よりなんやこれと思いながら見たんですけど、その辺はプレイ中にちょっといろいろ解説できたらなと思います。
間に合うのかな、解説間に合うかな。
いや、これね、このゲームねすごいスピーディーなんで解説中にもう次のとこ行く可能性があるんで怖いですね。
俺の解説みたいにならないように頑張ってください。
どんな解説ですか？すごいなんかどのゲームもお詳しい感じでしたけれども。
いやしたやつはね
悪魔城とか。
悪魔城はとりあえず何でもいける。全部とりあえずいける。
なるほど。
あと FF も全部いける。FF もタクティクスはあんまりやってないけど、あとは全部いける。そう、ナンバリングはもう余裕。月下は出ましたよ。月下バグなしチャートが世界1位の人が出しました。
自分で自分の聞こえると。
そうそう。お？
なんか本家あれ？本家音なんか止まりません？
いや、動いてるよ。音は鳴ってるよ。とりあえずね、喋って実況するしかないんですよ。サッカーをこよなく愛する皆さん、こんばんは、ジョン・カビラですとかいう感じでやるしかないんですよ。
このゲームも実況できるかな。解説も危ういぐらい多分いろいろすごい勢いで動いていくんで。
解説の北沢さんがつって完全に触発されてるよね。毒されてるわ。サッカーの実況シリーズ毒されちゃってる俺やばい。
とりあえず喋ってもらった方が個人的に嬉しい。なるほど。あとちょっと始まる前に一つだけちょっとこの